So we're finally going to replace the headliner to black suede. So here's the before, and I'll be posting more clips. But yeah, I'm just gonna go to black suede. I also went ahead and wrapped the wood trim in this carbon fiber wrap. Turns out pretty good. I do want to get a rear one, like a rear carbon fiber trim out there. But meanwhile, I am going to stick to this, and I think it turned out pretty good. So yeah, next up is the headliner itself. Alright guys, here's the progress. So now we're gonna move it from the back. I have to take out the bottom seat. We took out the sunshade already. And so it took about an hour and a half. So we removed the headliner, sunshade, all the pillars, and we had to remove the passenger seat right there. It took a while, but it's not an easy job, but it's finally out, and now it's time to reupholster the new suede material on the headliner.
Style and substance in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0.9% APR on these Sierra models. Or current eligible GMC offers get over $7,800 total value.
So the headliner is now clean, removing the old foam that was stuck on there. And since the headliner itself, it's already pretty old and dried up, some parts are pretty weak and more easier to break, so we reinforced it with cardboard in the back, so it helps it not breaking when we install it in the car again. So this is the progress, and now it's time to glue the new material. This is a suede we'll be using. It's a nice, not too thin, not too thick material, so I like working with this kind of material, which stretches pretty good and it's easy to work with. That's the kind of material you want to work with when doing the headliner. You need a material that stretches, so that way you can properly stretch it, make sure there's no wrinkles, and it makes the progress and work more easier overall. Alright guys, so this is the proper glue to use. As you can see, this is a special contact glue we use for headliners especially, as well for door panels. It's not that cheap glue spray cans you find on Amazon and Walmart. This is the real stuff, the one that typical upholstery businesses use, but this is one of the best glues, and this is one of the only glues we've been using, and so this is the right one to use. It looks kind of like liquid, but yeah, this is what we spray it on with this, and it's the best glue for this industry. So now we have to wait a few minutes after spraying on the glue for it to dry a little bit, because it has to have a certain time for it to stick properly. And so we can't just put the material right away right after spraying the glue. So just wait a couple minutes for it to have its right time, and then after that we're going to start putting on the material. Alright, so once the material has been glued on and cut and molded around the edges, the next step will be to use, either you can go old school and use your hand, the palm of your hand, to rub around the whole headliner to rub the material properly. I would say do it about 2 times all over the edges, the middle, pretty much all over the headliner. Or you could use fabric, another piece of headliner, and use that to rub it down. But the key is to rub it like that all around at least twice, and make sure you don't put your fingers like that hard. This is suede, so you can't really see it, but when you use regular fabric like this headliner, once you put your fingers like that, it pretty much marks it. So it's always best to use the palm of your hand like that, or just use another piece of cloth fabric to rub down all over the material and not over the edges. Like that. I want to make sure you get into the deep edges right there, and just keep going like this all around the headliner. So we put in the headliner now. It's always best to put a blanket over the steering wheel, seats, to make sure you don't damage or scratch anything. But we just got it inside. This is how it's turning out. So we got the headliner on. So right now I have a SRS light on the dash, and so when disconnecting the yellow cables, that's pretty much to do with the airbags. And so you gotta have the proper scanner tool to clear the code, and that's very important. So that way you will have that SRS light that's very famous to be on most old Mercedes from this era. Alright guys, so it's currently the next day, and so we were able to do the front A-pillars and install the headliner. So this is how it's turning out. So we just gotta do the C pillars and the B pillars. But I do want to paint later on like the handles, or just maybe leave them like that. But I don't know, I might just paint them. But yeah, it's turning out great. So we're gonna get rid of these plastic intake tubes. These are the stock ones, and go with these from VIP. I saw that they were on sale and was like, why not? Something different. So we want to go ahead and install it. Here are the new intakes. Intake spacers right there. You can see. Alright guys, this is how the car is turning out. New VIP intake tubes with the spacers. And the headliner progress. We just gotta do the sunshade and the sun visors, but so far this is how it's turning out with the new carbon fiber wrapped wood trim. Appreciate you guys watching.